Hey guys, we're back. So I just quickly stopped that there just to keep the episode sort of fairly short. I want to keep it at least a maximum of sort of 20 minutes. So we're still collecting this wood, but we need to put down some more buildings, obviously. So let's go around our buildings again and go to our shared sleeping quarters. And we want to rotate this around because I want the windows to be over here. And I think that's good there, so we'll put that there. And I do like this because you can kind of place down things and then kind of finalize them when you finish. So we'll go back into building, and we want a dining hall as well. And I think this is a pretty good sort of setup. Once you get these few buildings, I think that's sort of want to be there. You kind of need all three of these to really kind of get your village going fairly well. So we'll put that one over there. And then if these guys sort of finish collecting everything, the one annoying thing I do find, and just of note, is if you start a building, they'll kind of, or just anything, any job, they'll rush to a job that's very close. Like, it's sort of like this campfire is their center, I guess. And they'll kind of essentially do the jobs that are closest to it. So most of your buildings are going to be around here, so they'll rush to the building, and they won't, if there's gather wood over here, they'll ignore that until this stuff's done. And there's also a lot of I don't know if it's a bug or what exactly, but I do notice that they definitely sort of ignore, like, say one of them comes over here to mines it, and then doesn't pick it up. If they go off and do too many other things, they'll just forget that there's resources here, and they'll just sort of leave stuff here. It happens a lot with tools. Like, if you make another carpenter's saw, like we saw in the last episode, that you can turn you guys into a carpenter, they'll do that, and that's great, but then if they don't put the saw in a sort of stockpile, they'll just sort of forget that it's there, and just leave it on the ground for ages. So, speaking of, let's find our carpenter. And you'll notice here, like, these guys sort of just have changed job. Same as our trapper doesn't have anything special, but our carpenter has build workshop. So we're going to build a workshop for him now. And usually I kind of put my workshops fairly close to the stockpile, because I think that makes sense. They're going to have to go there to get wood and stuff. So we'll build that there. And then it's going to use up a plank of wood, and you'll find we get a carpenter's workbench. And now we have access to this, so you can either get to this by clicking on there, or you can go into the carpenter. Oh, we've got a trader approaching. Let's see what he wants. If you make me 9 wooden doors... Wait. 8 bolts of cloth. Okay. I'm going to accept that, just because I think, we can make wooden doors pretty easy, and we don't have a weaver yet to make cloth, so probably not a bad idea. So I'm going to make... So I need 9, but I also want 3 for the things that I'm going to build. So we'll build 12, and I'm going to queue up some window frames as well. I think, I've also noticed, sometimes it'll just jump to other things, and it's a bug. I went and looked it up, and they were saying that they're aware of it. It's just sort of something weird with the UI at the moment, where it'll reset sort of to the first thing in the UI when it updates. So we'll craft a few of those as well, and we're going to craft a few beds. So we'll set him up, so he's going to be doing that for a little while. But these guys, I'm just going to grab some more wood, I think. Because once we sort of start, well, like, it's going to take a lot of wood just to make those doors. But then it's really going to sort of start once we start building these houses. So you see how Carpenter got level 1 now? They get level 1 pretty much instantly, it seems. I think it's just that, it's sort of like saying they've actually done something with carpenting now. Like, before she just picked up the saw. Whereas now she's sort of done the actual, like, cutting something. I think it might even be the first recipe. If not the first, very early on, within the first, 1 or 2. So we've got that done now. And speaking of our trapper, we probably want to start utilizing him, or we're going to run out of food. So, if you look over here, you'll see there's a goblin already? It sure is. Look at this goblin stealing our shit. Wow, what a jerk. Look at this guy. Look at him. He's just picking it up and walking away. Well, anyway. So, that is annoying. That's why we need to get some guards, probably. But, I'm kind of looking around for creatures. I think I saw one. Yeah, here we go. Here's a scroll over here. So here might not be a bad spot. Usually you kind of want to do it somewhere close to wood areas. But I think I might just do it over here. So, over here, we'll create a fairly large trapping zone. I don't know if it really matters how big they are. But I kind of want to go like 30 by 60 just because I like the even numbers. So if we do that, our trapper will go over there and start placing down traps on the ground. And because I notice these berries, I'll grab them quickly. Are these ones regrown? Yes, they have. Alright, we'll grab these berries as well. And every now and then you'll get these, just errors. If you do decide to jump into the alpha, I would recommend sort of writing these down and uploading them. Sending them through to the devs to fix, basically. I'll just grab these quickly, and some more wool. But it becomes very hectic very quickly, like, you kind of start going, shit, I want to do a lot of things. Also, I think they've added mining. It might not be in this update, but there was a video about it sort of yesterday, where they were showing off kind of how the mining system will work. And it'll sort of work like how these houses worked, where you can sort of see down and see on top of the mountain, and they'll dig in and create sort of mine shafts and stuff. It looked really interesting, looked really good. You see this chick's just pumping out these doors, so I'm pretty sure we've got enough of them now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we've got heaps. And we've pretty much got all our wood. I might wait for them to go over there and collect these, because like I said, if I sort of grab them to build these now, then these stuff will probably just never get collected. But over here, we might even get to see it. Okay, so we've got traps down now, and critters will come along, and if they get unlucky, they'll get caught in the trap, but sometimes they will get away. Nope, he didn't decide to go for it. Damn it. But yeah, essentially, like, your trapper will, like, kind of set up this area. He's got his traps down. Every now and then he'll come back and check them. I'm not sure if he just checks them every now and then, or if it's only when something actually gets trapped that it sends a signal to him. And then he kind of goes over there at some point. But for now, you know, kind of just chill. We've got quite a few berries going on here. I think this is turnips or something. Not deciding to show me anymore when I click on things. Interesting. Okay, that's annoying. Yeah, okay, it looks like it has... Yeah, it looks like the UI is bugged behind me, sort of thing. So this is sort of permanently on top right now, which is somewhat annoying. I might even quickly just jump out. So if we save, overwrite, yeah, that's fine. Cool. And if we load game, hopefully that will fix our UI problem. I've never actually seen that one before, so it's a bit interesting. And it looks like the game just crashed, so that's annoying. But again, you know, it's alpha guys, so kind of to be expected. But here we go. I just love this art. I love the sort of cartoony look of everything. But let's jump back in. And luckily we saved, apparently. Trade will be back in 63 hours. Well, okay. Good thing we Carpenter level. Pretty sure we already had Carpenter level 1, so I'm a bit confused, but maybe it's just bugging out. Screw this goblin, man. I think we really need to, like... They will go attack him. They're pretty crap, though, when they don't have, like a soldier. We definitely need to make a guy with a sword. But, you know, they can mob him down, like, with enough of them. So if you click this, they'll kind of all go into battle mode, and they'll just sort of attack anything that's an enemy nearby. And then you have to just click it again, and they'll sort of go back to peacetime. But I think we've pretty much collected everything, so we're probably okay to start one of these now, I think. So to start a building, you sort of got the plans down, you can click on them, you can edit. So even though these were like the pre-generated buildings, you can still like decide to, you know, oh, I want this as my wood, or this is whatever. So I think we just want wood for everything now. How much stone do we have? We might actually be able to go stone. We don't really have that much, so yeah, we'll just go wood. I kind of suggest at the start, just keep everything pretty much the same. And then, hit build. And this is a great part. I love how they build. So hit yes, start building. And jump out of this, and we'll see that all of our like silhouettes disappear. And you'll see all our little guys. Oh, also, let me just pause quickly. If we come over here... Ah, damn, so sometimes the traps will activate, but they won't actually capture anything. But here we go. So you see a trap, we caught a squirrel in here. So that's kind of fun. So it seems like at the moment, mostly what you catch is either squirrel and foxes. I'm not sure if when the hunter levels up, if you can actually go hunt other stuff. I don't really think there is anything else in the game yet. I imagine they'll add sort of like pigs and deer and stuff like that as the sort of game gets developed. But I think, you know, like those things are fairly far down on the list compared to other stuff that people definitely want more, like, you know, having mining really well fleshed out, or having, you know, the character sort of class system fleshed out a bit better. So I think, you know, at the moment they're kind of just like, yeah, we've got these, and sort of you'll get food, but you'll also get leather from them, and that becomes quite helpful later on if you want to make any sort of armor. So you see our little guys going in here. I might actually speed it up, just because, you know, otherwise it'll take a little while. So yeah, he got trapper level 1. But you'll see they'll sort of dig out the ground, and they'll start placing their floor. But now they're all going to go eat, just because they're jerks and want my video to take longer than it should. One thing to note as well is, like, even if you've got a trapper, you don't have to have just one area set as, like, the trapping area. You could set one over here and one over here as well. I just find that if you set too many, he won't... Like, the carpenter and the trapper, if they don't have anything to do, they will help build and gather and do everything else. But if all he's doing is just running between all these different sites setting traps, at the start, like, maybe, like, later on, that's probably good once you have a few more villages, because villages do sometimes arrive in town and stuff like that. And you can get more villages. So, you know, when you've got, like, 10 or 15 guys, that might not be too bad to have one guy just, you know, rolling around between all these things setting traps. But early on, it's really quite hard to do without one of your guys. Like, you only have sort of, I don't even know, like, let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I was right. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so you got 7 guys. So if you go down to 6, and one of them sort of, like, off picking stuff, like, yeah, you kind of start running out very quickly, especially once you start adding a few more jobs. Like, you know, you put this guy into a weaver, and, like, this guy into a farmer, and you're down to, like, 3 builders at that point. So, I think, you know, early on, I don't even really go maybe 1 trapping site, maybe 2 at the most. You just don't need it, especially if you start near these berry sort of bushes. Like you see at the moment, we've got some squirrel jerky, which I'm sure is very tasty. But we'll come back to our building here, and you'll see we've got our little pillars up. So they put the pillars up first, they start building the wall, but then they start building scaffolding for themselves. And I don't know, like, it's sort of a silly thing, like, it really isn't anything amazing, but for some reason I just love it. I just love that they build their own little scaffolding. You know, they're just slowly building this place up. They start going up the walls and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I just love how they build this sort of 1 block at a time. I mean, it's sort of like if you essentially were just looking at a top-down version of Minecraft. Like, it's like, you know, like all these guys could be a person in Minecraft, like running back to the chest, grabbing like a wood block. One thing to note as well is, like, even though this is like all wood, it doesn't actually take 1 wood block for each thing. I don't actually know how they work out the algorithm, but you'll notice some guy will come along and he'll be holding a wood block, but then he'll put down like 7 or 8 before he'll go back and get another one. So they can definitely sort of like put down a lot more. Like 1 wood block isn't going to equate to 1 square on this. It's going to probably give you almost a whole wall. But now we need to get a few lights, because I know he wants to do that. So we'll put the lights down. And we definitely need a few more windows, so they can go down for now. And I'm not sure if I was meant to click that trader to do that. That might have been a problem. Okay, cool. We'll be back in 3 days. Maybe 9 wooden window frames. One comfy bed. Yeah, okay, I'll do that. Any of those ones where it's like I can literally essentially trade wood for the more complicated stuff, it's kind of like, well, might as well. I mean, what's wooden frames? Are like one of these things? I'm just gonna build like 12 because I know we're gonna need more of them for these things, so might as well. The reason we built 2 of these places is because obviously we have 7 workers and only 4 beds right now. There was a bit of a weird bug, not really a bug, but last alpha, I remember a lot of them, like someone would sleep in something, and then that was sort of it. Like, no one would. These guys attacking me? I don't really care if he just takes one thing, but the armed goblins part scared me. Yep. I was like, I'm pretty sure he must be attacking me, and I was right, he is. Jesus. No way, goblins. Alright, screw this. I need to make a sword. So I'm gonna make a sword. But I'm probably gonna stop it again there now. I'll quickly just show you sort of this. So this is how we get rid of the walls and stuff. But I think we might actually have screwed ourselves now, because if they're all stuck inside here, I don't think they can keep building, because the scaffolding gets in the way. Which is going to be a real pain. So I'm going to try to figure this out, and I'll be right back.